Hello, this is Inside the Press Box with Sunil Sunder Raj for the Everyday Fan Sports. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with NJIT Highlanders women's basketball junior guard Kenna Squier. Kenna poured in a career-high 24 points in the Highlanders' 67-59 overtime victory over Maine on Sunday, shooting 7 for 12 from the field, 10 of 12 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 3 steals in 43 minutes. NJIT extending their winning streak to 3 games. Kenna, again, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me. Happy New Year to you and your family and the rest of the team. And congrats, Sid, on a tremendous performance there on Sunday at Maine.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's get right into it. Kenna said, a big win, said coming off the victory over Stony Brook, said last Thursday, said defeating, said the reigning and defending America East Conference champions. No letdown. It was a hard-fought, battle against Maine on Sunday, but you guys were able to come out on top.
Yeah, I think that we kind of just used the energy that we had from Stony Brook. I mean, that was obviously a huge win. They were, beating Power 5 teams their whole schedule. So we knew that was going to be a tough one. And then getting that win, we kind of just took that energy and carried it over to Maine.
Okay, don't want to skip over that you were named the America East Player of the Week, averaging 17.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 steals, shooting 52% from the field and 75% from the free throw line. I had to ask you what that means to you personally, Kenna.
I know it's obviously like a very special thing, when you get a career high, but and like being Player of the Week and stuff, but during the games, like that wasn't anything that I was focused on. Afterwards people came up to me like, oh my God, you got your career high. And I was just like, really? Like I was just so focused on winning. That's all I could think about. And it didn't even like faze me that all of that was like that I was doing that. So I was just so focused on winning. And obviously I'm proud of myself, but I would like to get some more of those awards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was jotting some words down. I was trying to come up with the best of them. And a couple of everyone pitching in, a collective effort. You talk about Ellen Stoll, 16 points. Lizzie Litwinko, I mean, you talk about a great stat line, 6.7 rebounds and 4 assists. Arian Myers, 6 points. Kendall Dalrymple, 5 points. Just the effectiveness, the efficiency and production has been outstanding, said this season. Just talk about how everyone, has said, again, came together here on Sunday to contribute to that win.
Yeah, I feel like it's a point that I bring up like almost every time that we talk, but I think it really comes down to our depth, 1 through 17. And I think that, we trust whoever's coming off the bench, whoever's starting, we all trust each other that we're going to come in and we're going to contribute and impact the game in a really positive way. And so I think that that's huge. And I don't know that that's something that everybody can say for their teams, but I think that's part of one of the biggest reasons that we have been winning some of these bigger games.
Hey, just talk about the game itself. You guys led by 6 points at the half, and then Maine, came back in the third quarter, outscored you guys 21-12. Close fourth quarter, said you won that 16-13, and an opportunity to win it at the end of the game. But overtime, you guys dominated. I mean, outscored them 10-2, and I just talk about, in a couple other words, the culture, the environment changing this year. I think, last year's, experience, the first year in the America East Conference, is really paying off this season, Kenna.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close game the whole time, and we did have that lead going into halftime. But, Coach kind of told us before the game even started that this past game is going to be a game of adversity. And so, we knew that whenever we scored, they were going to come down and they were going to do their best to get a bucket, and they weren't going to stop playing. And so I think that's something that we had in the back of our mind the whole time. And we knew that they weren't going to stop playing. So we couldn't stop playing. And I think that we did a really good job of that. And then especially in overtime, I know Coach he came into the locker room, he was saying like a lot of times teams will, they don't hit the shot at the end of the game for the win. And then you're like, oh my gosh, we have to play another 5 minutes. Like, I just want it to be over. But we were all ready to go. We were ready to play that 5 minutes. And I think it really showed in how we just dominated that overtime.
I thought one of the big stats from coming out of that game was that the second chance opportunities, and you guys, won that battle handily. Just talk about that. I mean, then rebounds as well, but second chance were huge for you guys on Sunday in that win.
Yeah, something that we always emphasize is winning the rebounds, and we did against Maine, and especially offensive rebounds. And another thing is like, those 50-50 balls, sometimes it's not always a 50-50 ball for us. We're not always getting that. And I think that we were so locked in that we were getting those 50-50 balls, giving us extra opportunities and more possessions. I think that was huge.
I was looking at, of course, you're leading the team in scoring, said 12 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, shooting 49% from the field, 77% from the free throw line, while averaging 34 minutes a game. I mean, look at Lizzie Litwinko, I said 10.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, Ellen Stoll 10.2, Kimmy Evans 8.4, freshman forward Trinity Williams 5.1, and then Maria Fu, it said 3.5 points, but 4.5 rebounds. I mean, all that, adds up. I mean, that's just, great that, again, across the board, you guys are getting, said the production, said not only from, the starters, but also the bench as well, Kenna.
Yeah, I mean, something that we always look at when we're doing scouts on the other team is their points per game. And sometimes they'll have one girl who's scoring 16 points per game, and then, the rest of the team is down in the low single digits. I think that's something that we have that's very special, is that it's so spread out across the board that they can't just focus on one person and try to just take one of us away, because we have 4 other girls that are on the floor, and then however many people are on the bench, we have people who are going to come in and contribute regardless. So they have to guard all of us all the time. And I think that's really hard for them.
Just talk about, raising your game. Said you've been able to do that. I mean, said this season, just talk about putting in all that hard work, said, on and off the court, practice time, and, to see that those results, again, you see it on the court as well, Kenna.
Yeah, I wasn't honestly very happy with not only our record last year, but with how I played myself. I knew that I had more potential than that. And so I was really locked in this year on playing defense. I think that's something that I wasn't the best at last year. So I really wanted to focus on my defense this year. And I think that's kind of starting to show in, the steals and the rebounds and things like that. And I think that that's making me a more well-rounded player. So I think that's huge.
I wanted to talk about Trinity Williams, freshman forward, named America East Rookie of the Week, 10 points, 83% from the field, 4 rebounds in just 13 minutes against Stony Brook. Just a, phenomenal performance, especially for a freshman in the America East Conference opener. Just talk about Trinity and just, what she means to this team, and then just what she was able to do against Stony Brook last Thursday at the WEC.
Yeah, Trinity's impact has been huge. As a freshman post player, people are going to be going at her. I mean, that's what we do when we see on the scout there's a freshman post player. People are going to dig down, try to frazzle her, but she always seems to stay very composed and calm. And, I think that's huge for us. And she also, just brings so much energy and calmness, and, at the same time, it's kind of weird, energy and calmness. But, she does have, a very good balance of that. And she's just made some really big impacts on the games that we've had, which is huge.
You talked about not being satisfied from last season. You guys just said we're the first athletic program in NJIT to win an America East Conference game, and also make, the tournament as well. This team has won 7 games, the highest total since the 2016-17 squad that won 11 games. That's a major accomplishment. You look at the breakdown of, of this team. I was looking at 2 seniors, you have 1 graduate student, 5 juniors, 6 sophomores, 3 freshmen. I mean, when you look at some of the accolades, that's got to be right there at the top. The fact that you guys have been able to surpass, said that win total from last season.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that, 7 wins is hasn't happened in a couple of years, and it might seem big, but for us that's not enough. 7 wins is better than the past, but it's still not great. And so we still want to keep building those wins up, building them up. And I think we're really looking to, change this program around into a winning program consecutively every single year, and be at the top of the American East and, be in that championship game and all those things. So we're definitely not satisfied with what we've done so far, even though, we've had some great wins over Wisconsin, Stony Brook, Maine, all of that. But yeah, we're definitely not satisfied.
I'm wondering some of the lessons. It's been a roller coaster ride this season. We talked about last month about it. I'm wondering, during that 3-game losing streak, and then coming back winning the next 3. But you guys were off for almost 3 weeks before you played your next game against Stony Brook. So I'm wondering just what the message was, from the coaching staff, head coach Mike Lane, the assistant coaches. Even amongst yourselves, with the players, said during, that time, said when you guys were not playing any games.
Yeah, I think that time was really a good time to break things down, go back to the basics. It was also a good time to kind of get like a mental break from playing games. When you do have like a 3-game losing streak, that does take a toll on you mentally. And so I think that was a big time for us to kind of just regather. We did get a win going into that Christmas break. And so, we were confident from that. And so I think that it was really just a reflection period and time to kind of go back to basics, get everything back together. And then I think that really helped us get into this winning streak that we are having.
Yeah, I think another thing that has changed also is that you have not allowed adversity to get you down, like, this season. That's something about growing up and progressing. And you've seen it with this team, I said, being an upperclassman. I mean, that's again, a significant improvement, again, from, past seasons as well, Kenna.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, adversity as a whole, and then you kind of break it down game by game. Every single game we've been facing adversity. We were up against Stony Brook by a good amount, and then, some calls started going not our way, and everything seemed to be going wrong, and they came back and, in past years, honestly, I feel like that's not a game that we do win because we don't fight that adversity very well. And I think that now we do. And same thing with Maine, we had a good lead and then they came back and we ended up down by 4. And that's something that in the past, I feel like we would let them build that lead. But, we've been fighting that adversity really, really well. And we ended up getting the win. I think that's like kind of an overall message of how this season's been going.
Yeah. Hey, just talk about the energy and passion. You can see it on the court, on the bench. I mean, after that win over Stony Brook last week, you said, again, a very tough win, said, back and forth, and you guys are able to pull it out there and then, get some huge buckets, hit your free throws. And just to see how, the players, the, coaching staff, and then the fans, we talked about how, vital it is to have the fans back in the stands, students, alumni, but especially parents. Just talk, and even on Sunday, that was so evident, like, once the final buzzer sounded there in overtime. Just talk about that, that part of the game, Kenna.
Yeah, I think that the energy and the togetherness is one of the biggest things that we've really seen this year amongst ourselves that's kind of lifted us up and made us so much of a better team than last year. And, our bench is just absolutely amazing. They're always on their feet. We're always getting the other team's play calls. And as soon as they come down, the bench is screaming and helping everyone who's on the court. And I think that energy is really just like what's been driving us. And then same thing with the people in the stands. Obviously when we're at home, it's great. We have that energy, but even against Maine, we had one girl had her family there, and then the rest was like, there was 800 people and the rest of them were all from Maine. And so obviously there was no one cheering for us, but we kind of still thrived off of that energy, even though it was for the other team. We thrived off of that and we used it to get us kind of going.
Another key is that even though we're in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic still, and of course this new variant, but you guys have been able pretty much right up to this point, being able to play a normal schedule compared to last season. Wednesday's game, home game against UMass Lowell has been canceled now, but just talk about being in that rhythm and that routine, how important that is, for you and the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, I know that, games are starting to get canceled now, and it's starting to not feel like last year, but be like last year. But I think collectively, we're just staying focused. We're not worrying about, well, this game might get canceled. No, we're still locked in, we're still ready to play whenever that day does come. So I think that's a very big difference from last year, is that we're more confident in the fact that, we're going to play, we're ready to go this year than we were last year.
The next two games are on the road at Binghamton, on Saturday, and then followed by UMBC, I said, next week before you return, to the WEC, I believe, to face the University of Albany. Just talk about, how important it is, said these, next two also on the road, Kenna.
Yeah, I think that we've kind of proven that we can win on the road. Obviously, two of our biggest wins, Wisconsin and Maine, was on the road, and I think that we really just focus in the night before. That morning we're going through walkthrough, we're locked in, and we kind of, like I was saying, we do thrive off of that opponent's energy and the fans that they have. So luckily, a lot of our away games now will be close enough where our families can go, so we'll have some of our own support. But it's really just thriving off of that energy.
I know you've had fantastic support, of course, from athletics, for NJIT athletics and the administration. Just talk about how good. I mean, it's just, again, enjoying, said the success early season, but just talk about, the support, from both of those areas.
Yeah, I mean, the support from everywhere is just absolutely amazing. After I got the Player of the Week, I had multiple people reaching out to me. I even had administrators who are not part of athletics emailing me, stuff like that. So it's just honestly, from everywhere here, it's just really amazing.
Okay, so we do this every time. Final question is, what is your message, to Highlander Nation here? I said both, in the state of New Jersey and across the nation, as you guys continue on this this journey, especially here in America East Conference play, Kenna.
Man, I guess it would be kind of the same as the last couple times, except this time we have two big wins under our belts, and so I hope that we continue to see people coming out and supporting, because everyone's been so great with that, and I just hope that's something that we get to continue to see as we hopefully rack up some more wins.
Sounds good. Ken, I can't thank you enough for the time. I really appreciate it. Again, congrats, on being named the America East Player of the Week, and again on the team's success, 7-6 this season, 2-0 in the America East, and again, wishing you guys all the best, moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.